Welcome everybody in our next webinar. It's close to 10 already, so I think we can start. Today we'll do a little bit more about loops, maybe a little bit something about AGV, about trailers, detaching trailers, things like this. I hope everyone will enjoy it. Plan is the same as the last one. So first I will do the model, I think 45 up to 50 minutes. Then we'll have like 10, 15 minutes, like the time for questions. Okay, and I ask you if you have some questions during my presentation, and just write them on the chat. Yeah, and if I will be able, then I will maybe answer them. If not, then I will answer them at the end of the presentation. Okay. Okay, so let's start. So what are we going to do today? Today I would like to build a small process where we have an operator that is making some preparation for trailers for the AGV train. And so you're preparing the trailers, there's the AGV train. AGV train will come, pick up everything, attach, move the trailers, then leave the trailers on the designated spot. Then the operator will pick up the trailers and move it on the line. So rather a small process. We won't go deep into the logic about which cult and everything, but I will try to like show the basic framework how you can build this kind of simulation. Okay, so let's start. So let's start with the let's say a small supermarket. So we'll do 2 gravity flow racks. Let's say one will be here, and let's say other will be here. Okay, we have some operator. Let's create some KLT, our model. Maybe 0.6 over 0.4 over 0.3, more or less. So let's say at the start of the simulation, we create a source, and the source will fill our supermarket with our KLT. Let's say it's going to be, let's say 400. There we have the source. And so the source will fill our warehouse. So if you reset and run it now, we want to try to fill out all the places in the flow rack. We're going to change the logic here to random by random level, and here also random by random level. Okay, and we'll split this also here, so the source can put this on the random space. Okay. Maybe more I. Okay. We have the very basic supermarket right now. As I said, we won't go very deep into the logic of the placement of the taking of the KLT, but we want to have a supermarket, and I want to fill the cart, fill the trailers with the product. So our next case here is we're going to create 2 buffers for this operator. The first buffer, maybe I will just change its shape. Maybe this box 0.1, and we're going to name it empty carts or trailers. And the next source here is going to be trailer source. And we'll create some number of trailers. So like this, let's say we'll start off with 3 trailers. Okay, but we have to create the shape of the trailers. Okay, so let's go to flow item bin. Let's add a new shape, and because we'll put something into trailers, we have to create it as a container flow item, not the basic flow item, but as a container flow item. And we change the shape to this trolley shape. Okay, so the main idea here is the operator will pick it up, move it in the alley, and pick up some goods. Okay, so in this source, we want to create a tree. I'll call it to maybe, let's change its name to trailer. So we change the flow item class here instead of box to trailer. So now if I reset and run, I have 3 trailers there. Of course, I don't quite like how it looks, yeah, the stacking. So I will just change item placement on this queue to horizontal line. So I have like line of trailers I will pick up and then use in our logic to fill in with the calte. Okay, so we have the basics, and let's say this, maybe I will just copy this queue here, and it's going to be, let's say, full trailers. Okay, so we have the first, let's say, first step. Let's start with process flow, and let's start with filling out the trailers. So operators, so whenever there is some empty trailers, operator should come, pick it up, and fill with some products. So we'll do the event triggered source. Whenever there is some empty trailers on the source, we'll name it trailer operation assign. Then we'll create a resource block. That's going to be our operator. Create the reference to the operator. And of course, we'll acquire our operator. And we'll name it OP. Okay, so we have it. So whenever reset run, there'll be 3 trailers here, 3 tokens, and you can see first token already acquired the operators, and there are 2 tokens still waiting for the operator. Okay, maybe it's a good idea to save this model, so you never know what will happen next. So it's better to be prepared. And let's try to build this. So what is our logic here? First operator, I should go and pick up the trailers from the empty trailers buffer. So let's do some travel. When our operator has to travel to our empty trailers buffer. Okay? I can write like this, or I can just write token dot trailer dot up, okay? Meaning go wherever the trailer is. So go 1 level higher in the tree. Okay? So first, last, like give me the first child on the last child, and up give me, let's say, the mother from the tree perspective. So I have the trailer, so I will take this trailer. So my operator, OP, will take the trailer, reset run, let's see, maybe too fast. It will take the trailer. Okay, so here's the trailers. I can see, I don't quite like how this looks, yeah? Because he's like carrying the trailer and I want him to push it. Yeah, I need this to be a little lower. Yeah? Let's see, on the ground. So after loading, I will use the block change visual here to set location of my trailer. And if I click on it, I can read it here. For example, 040200. So it's going to be 0.4, 0.2, and 0. If you notice, in the change of visual, you have 2 options. There is set location and set the rotation size of location. If you choose the one that I did, so this one, location, when you want to read the location of the object, you need to use these values. But if you choose here this one, so not this option, But this option, set location, you have a little bit more option about location because you can specify at which point of location you want to set this location. Yeah, do you want to be on the center of the bottom area, some top left corner, top right corner, bottom left corner, and so on. So if you want to read it, then you need to use these values. Okay, so I've changed the location here on my trailer. So now when operator will pick it up, you'll be looking like he was pushing it, not like he's carrying. Okay, so let's make some loading in this case. So let's say we'll do it in some run subflow. Loading trailer. Okay, so we have some start, we have some finish. We have to, of course, connect everything. Let's say I will put there 12 boxes, 12 KLT. I want to run tokens one at a time. I want to pick it one by one, not every KLT in the same time. And because I said before, we won't go very deep into logic here, so I will just pick a random box from the supermarket. So I will use the find item block here. And in the query, I will choose where and order, and order is just random item. And I will assign this random item here to token.KLT. Okay, so I have the item, I found it. Then I will take some operator, travel. Okay, my operator has to go whenever I found this KLT, so KLT up. Then the operator will load it. So our operator will take this KLT. And after loading, I will use the move object to move KLT on the trailer. Because if I load it, then the box is also in the hand of operator. Okay? And I want this box to be on a trailer. I will just use object token.KLT and move it to our trailer. And this is the whole logic from the operator side. If you reset and run it, he will take and he will start going to the warehouse, picking up everything. Okay. Okay, so maybe make it more narrow, this alley. Okay. It doesn't look very good. Yeah. So I will just use the A star here. So I will connect everything with the A star. You can see this blue shadow. This means that this is connected to the A star. And of course, we use it to operator not go inside the flow racks. Okay. We can also specify the preferred path. Like let's say, we always want this operator to go, if he can, in the middle of everything. Say so, some preferred two-way road inside. Okay. After he will finish loading the trailer, I want him to move the trailer into this full trailers queue. So let's just move to use the travel. So my operator has to move everything to the full trailers, go there, and then we need to unload. So my operator needs to unload this trailer on this full trailer buffer. After loading, he'll put trailers here. Okay. One more thing I don't like. Yes, he puts the totes on top of a trailer, not inside the trailer. Okay. And how can we change it? I think one of the easiest way here is to change the shape factor of the trailer. So in the flight time bin, you can see the size of the trailer is like size of the whole sphere of the trailer. And what I will change is I will change the size of the trailer to be, for example, 0.15. So this is the size of the trailer. So he will put the object starting from 0.15 height. I will go inside the shape into the more visual, and in the shape factor, I will increase the shape, so the graphics, but leave the size for calculation to be like I specified here. Yeah? So I can increase the size. That's over the axis. Yeah, put here 0.6. This will mean that it's a little bit higher. Still not enough, but the FlexSim calculates that the size of this object is this yellow outline. So the 1.24, 0.15, but the graphics will be a little bit bigger. Okay? I think it should be like 0.13 or 12 here to be the correct size. So now if you look on the simulation side, so if I reset and run it, if you move it, you can see if I click on it, this is the size, but because of the bigger shape factor, it seems bigger. With operator now, we'll be putting the boxes onto the trailer or the cart, starting from the 0.15. So now it looks like he's filling a trailer with the boxes. Other approach, of course, could be that you can specify the location for each box, if you want to be like exact. So you can specify what is the location of the first box, second box, third, fourth, and so on. But usually, this kind of approach should be enough because it looks reasonably well. So you can continue modeling without wasting much more time here for the better visualization. So we have the logic here. We change the visualization. We unload the trailer. So we release our operator here. So he can load all 3 trailers there. Okay, release, Q, OP. So reset run. Right now, this operator will prepare for me 3 trailers here. So now we can call for a transport. And maybe let's do it like this. So this is the first trailer, second trailer, and fourth and third trailer. Okay, we prepared the transport. Now we have to call for our train. But in this case, in this example, we will use this AGV network. So before we use a basic network, node and travel networks, but in this case, I really like to use the AGV path because I also want it to look good. So because I want the trailer to turn right behind the train, and I want full control over everything here. So we'll create this pathing using the AGV paths. Okay, maybe I will just click here and in the visual, yes, I switch off this bond. Okay, so let's create the path. So I have like first path here. You can click here on these 2 arrows to reverse direction. Oh, this is our first path here. Control C, some loops. So here, other path, other direction. Then we do some paths. Like this. And switch direction. Why I build like this? Because then if I create all the, let's say, straight paths, I could do the join path, curves path, and like manually connect everything. But then I can just use the join path tool and connect the paths like this. Well, this is my base path. Let's say, because we'll have some AGV, I want for my AGV to pick up this trailer in a very specified way. I want him to go like this, yeah? Then reverse here, attach the trailers, and then continue with the loop. Yeah? So I need to prepare, let's say, the road to approach these trailers. Okay, so this we will do by hand using some curved paths. So let's say like this, then second curved path. Like this, and just move the full trailers here so we don't waste more time for it. Come straight off here. Okay, have the path approach. It has to be two-way paths because I will reverse here and then we'll go forward like this. Yeah, so all this sections has to be two-way. You can see the checkbox here and here, so it has to be two-way path. Okay, so let's create our AGV. So we'll use here the task executor, just plain and simple. We'll use some control points. So let's say this will be our first point, so traveler AGV. And here we use our other points because I want him to travel here to this location to pick up the trailers. Okay, so let's go back, let's build the logic in the process flow. So whenever there is three trailers there, I will call for the transport. So I will do it like this. I will create some schedule source and some wait for event block. In this wait for event, I will choose the full trailers buffer, go to on content change, and this token will wait here until the content will increase to exact value of 3. So when there is a 3, okay, call for this AGV. Same as before, resource, AGV, maybe AGV train in this case. Well, it can be NGV, it can be like standard train, just up to you. How do you want to build this? And we'll acquire this train, and I will call it token.train. Okay, so now we'll wait for 3 after, maybe slower, well, for 3 trailers. After the third trailers will arrive here, the token is pushed, travels from wait for event to the acquired block. Okay. So because we are on AGV networks, we have to use this AGV travel activity, not standard travel, but this one here, AGV travel. So our train, I want this train to go to our destination here. But if you reset and run it, first trailer, second, third, and now we go in reverse and wait here. And so with the AGV network, it's easier for you to build more complicated paths like reversing and things like this. Of course, it costs you a little bit more work to do it, but you have more possibility. Yeah? It's important when you build the AGV network, it's important to take notice about this axis. Yeah? Whenever you connect some paths together, if these paths are connected, the X is drawn here, yeah? Like here or here or here. So at the beginning and the end of each section, there has to be cross because this means that these paths are connected. With AGV network, it's rather easy sometimes to move something a little bit, yeah? So these paths are not connected right now. So take notice if you have X there, meaning these paths are then connected. Okay, so we have this trailer, and this trailer travels to our buffer. Okay, it's there. So I have to load the trailers. So we'll again use the run subflow. Again, we'll have start and finish. Okay. We'll do it one at a time. And the quantity is going to be the number of subnodes here. So take everything from this full trailers buffer. Okay. So let's build the logic. So in our case, we want to attach the trailers to this AGV train 3 times. 3 times because quantity is subnodes length from the full trailers buffer. So after the start, we'll use the custom code block, attach, green plus control. You have here AGV options, yeah? And then you have attach the trailer. He will ask you, okay, what is the AGV? What is the trailer? In our case, for example, trailer is going to be this one first. Yeah. What is the gap? So how far away behind or in front you want to attach this trailer? You have the option for behind, meaning that behind, and if you set this false, then the AGV train can push the trailers. So you can push the trailers on, you can pull the trailers, and auto detach, meaning if you will use the unload option, when you unload this trailer, it will be automatically detached. Okay, so we attach the trailer like this 3 times to the finish. And let's see what will happen because it won't work as intended. Okay, so look, when you reset and run, I will fill the trailers. And we have errors. Label AGV doesn't exist, okay? Because we call it train. So change it here to train. Okay, remember, whenever you make mistakes like this, yeah, maybe I'll just go back to AGV. If you do mistakes like this, FlexSim will always try to tell you where the problem is. Yeah, so in this case, what is the time of an error? What is the problem? Label AGV doesn't exist on token. So this means that you use some token, some label on token, name AGV, and it doesn't exist on the token. So token doesn't have this label. And you can specify then, you can see which token ID and or which activity. So this error was at model, tool, process flow, attach. Yeah, attach. Yeah? So you can then see where the error was. Yeah? You have sometimes trouble with finding this error. For example, let's say you have like this, yeah, reset run. So if you have a problem here, yeah, just still have attach because you have multiple attaches. Yeah? You have to, the best approach here is, of course, to name it differently. Yeah, this is the overall best approach here. But sometimes you can specify in the view activities, you can go to attach and you can see how many attaches do you have, which attach it is, and using this binoculars icon, you can select this particular activities. It's especially useful when you have very big models with a lot of, let's say, troubles, a lot of loads, and you don't know where the error is. Okay, but let's go back here, AGV, train, and let's see how it works, and let's see how it doesn't work still as intended. You take, pick one, yeah. You only take one. maybe I will just, for you to see it a little better, I will create control point here, for example. And after loading, I will make the train go there. So you can see how he attached the trailers. We run. You can see he took only one trailer and it's very far away behind it. So let's start debugging this issue, okay? So let's maybe just pick one trailer for now, okay? So if we reset and run, let's see how it works. So if we reset and run and make this AGV only pick one, it works. Yeah. So you can see with AGV network, you can see that the trailer is moving correctly behind the train. He's not like moving everything in the same line, but it goes behind the train. You can specify here the gap. So how far behind, let's say 0.5. I think 0.5 will look a little bit better. Okay, so with one trailer, it works, okay? But I will then, okay, let's try two trailers. Reset run. So I've made this logic, so he should be able to pick two trailers here. And third, go there, pick only one, yeah? And this one is on the second position. Why is that? Okay, maybe I will just go back one trailer so you can see it better. And I will use the tree view here. Okay, so when you have this logic, when you have three, like this, yeah, we have three trailers, yeah, full of products, of course, on the full trailer buffer. But now look how this works from the tree perspective. Yeah? Train will reverse, take it, but from the tree perspective, it's still there. It's this one. Yeah? So it's still there. So attaching something to the AGV doesn't move it on the AGV. So if you ask FlexSim right now, what is the content of this queue, it will return you free. Yeah. So look, if I ask for this option, subnodes length, yeah, and if I return this value, yeah, it will return me value of free because 1, 2, 3. If I ask about the content right now of this AGV, you return me value 0. Yeah? Because attaching something to it doesn't exactly mean taking something only, loading something, unloading something. Yeah. So it's treated differently than the standard load and unload operations. Yeah. And you have to remember about this, yeah, because sometimes when you have some rules about content, when content changes and things like this, or in our case, when you use here always the first option, yeah, first is always the same trailer because we make the assumption when you attach something and take it from the full trailer's buffer, it will be put on the train, but not, it's attached. So it's still there. So using this here first always refers me to the same trailer. So if I write here 3, what is happening, or maybe not 3, but just it should be, what happens here is meaning that I am attaching the same trailers 3 times because I always refers to the full trailers first. I always refers to the same trailer. Yeah, so that's why it's only one. It's the first trailer. It's only the first. That is like 3 slots behind the train because I've attached it 3 times the same trailer. So one of the good approach here, and the approach that I always use, is just before loading, I will just move it. I will just take this dot first, and I will move it onto train. And then I will attach it. But then the trailer is not model find trailers first, but it's going to be just token dot train dot last. So what you just moved on me. So with this approach, when you reset and run it, the train will go reverse, pick everything there, and move it along our AGV network up to the certain location. Okay, so we make the preparation of the trailers, and we pick up all the trailers. As you maybe noticed, you can also here on this AGV, you can attach trailer, meaning attach one trailer, or you can couple trains. So let's say I have two trains and I will attach one full train behind other train. Yeah? Is maybe a little bit more used in a railway transportation systems, yeah? Not in the like, let's say the factory side, but if you do some supply chain, if you maybe move some, I know, some metallurgy, some very heavy industry, when you have like internal transport using the real trains, then couple and couple train is the logic you should use to join the trains or to dismember the train. Okay, so let's create some zone when we will leave the one of the trailers. So again, we'll use it with some straight way, maybe one more alley here. Copy it, this, reverse direction. Some curve paths. Like this, reverse. Again, curve path. Reverse direction. And here some, let's say 180 turn. You can use this green to make smaller or bigger. And here, okay, reverse direction. And let's put control point here. So if reset and run, the train will finish its movement here. Okay, so let's continue. Let's say you have some other operator here, and the train will leave one of its trailers there, and the operator will pick it up and move it somewhere, let's say, on the production. Yeah? So we create here another queue, like this, for example. And in our logic, okay, I go there. After I will go there, maybe I will just create one more control point. Okay, so my train is here. I want to detach one trailer. So control AGV detach trailer. So it's going to be a train, and I will detach my last trailer. So token trailer last. I will detach it. Maybe I will just create some delay before detaching. So my train, not trailer, but train, 10 seconds. Okay, let's say unloading, then detach, and then the train will do one more travel. So the train will do travel up to this point. So if I reset and run right now, operator will prepare trailers agent will come, pick it up, go there, stop for 10 seconds, and leave the one there. Okay. So what we have to do here with the detaching, we detach the trailer. Yeah. Also have to leave it there. Yeah? Because it's same as we do here, detach and leave it there because it just needs to stay there. Yeah? It's nowhere near this location. Yeah. So after detaching, we use the train.last and destination, just the model with preserving its global position. So it should stay there. Yeah. So as you can see, we have the train, we have the trailer. It just stays there on, let's say, no object, on nothing. Yeah? It's not on the queue, it's not anywhere. It doesn't stay anywhere, just there on network. So we have to call operators to pick it up from this point. And the train, of course, continues. So in order to do this, we will create like a logic on the side that is going to be fired by this create token block. So just after, if I leave the trailer there, I will use this create token to create the logic for this operator to come, pick it up, and move it onto the queue. So you have the resource, meaning this operator, we have the acquire, P, and create token, we start this logic. And the logic here will be fairly simple. We'll use the travel, we'll use the load, and use the travel, and we'll use the unload. Okay? But what now? We have the travel. How can I address this trailer? Yeah? Because it only here it exists like the train last. Yeah? I don't have it in any label. I don't know how can I address it. It's not staying anywhere. Yeah? So for make life easier for me, yeah, just before I move it, if I still know where it is, it's on the train last, yeah, I will create on this token trailer label with the value of token dot train last. Yeah, because I need to know this address here before I move it. So then in create token, I will create those as independent token. Yeah. But I want to have all the labels on this freshly created tokens, the same labels I had on this token. So now, when maybe I will just cut it for a moment, when this logic will fire, the token will be created. Yeah. This token has all the information. Maybe this one are not used here. Yeah. You have the OP here. This could be issue because here you have also OP. So maybe I would just name it OP line. So I don't have the same names. So the model is more readable for me. So I will name it OP line because I don't want to have the conflict of names here. And I have the address of a trailer of this one. If I have the address of a trailer, then I can go there. So go to the trailer. Oh, I copy line. Yeah. I can go there. I can pick it up. I can move it. I can go to this queue, and then our operator can leave this trailer on this queue. And then in the end, I can just release this operator, meaning OP line. So then if you reset and run it, you have the trailer, the operator onto the buffer, 3 trailers ready, train come, it up and travel with the trailers on the, let's say, sideline, leave one there, and operator will come, pick it up, and move it somewhere on the line. Okay, so this is like, let's say, very base model for making a loop like this. Of course, you have to, if you would like to build it at your side, to put more information to it. Like, for example, where is what in the supermarket, what needs to be taken for some global table of this information. Yeah, maybe this trailer loop will be set dynamically. Yeah, so different trailers go to different lines. It will only depend how do you want to build this logic. Okay? With these AGV trailers and AGV, you would just use it instead of classic travel. So you can use the same logic, decide and then travel and maybe chart the path alongside. This can be done however you want it. What's important here is whenever you, each control point has information about the max allocation. It's here. Okay? So whenever you made some travel to this point, no other AGV can go there because the max allocation is 1. Yeah? And this lets you easily create a logic about, for example, you can only have one AGV here. So hold this, let's say, line of approach has to be always clear, because if 2 AGV will go there in the same time, they will deadlock itself. And so you have to also think about what is the logic of a movement in your AGV network. Okay? It can be easily detailized with more control point. Yeah? You can have control point here, and you can have control point, let's say, here. Yeah? And just before the first travel, yeah, this AGV can make the travel to train. Yeah, train can go to this point. Yeah. So then it will automatically wait here until something is there. Yeah? So you can put more detail to the, let's say, the logic about how the AGV moves, what is the kind of logic of the movement, without much programming, but only with creating more dense, let's say, more dense control point network on the AGV path. Okay? So this was the basic. Remember about this attaching, that if you attach something, it's still there. So it's always good idea to move it onto AGV. Remember about this, because it took me some time to find out why this is not working, and was the reason. It's especially important when you have logic like I have here, yeah. In this case, where I wait for some content change. Yeah? So then, because if I wait for content change, and because when I attach something, it's still there, so the content change logic won't fire or will fire with some errors. Yeah. So remember about this. It's very important, especially when you want to do the content. When you have the content-based logic about the movement, about the filling out the buffers, about all of these things. Okay. So this is the model. Yeah. My goal here was to maybe show you some flow racks, some picking from flow racks, some use of the I-star with it to make it look more viable. I've shown you about this trick about the trailer. I make it smaller, yeah, but it's visually bigger. So then the product looks correctly put on the shelves. Very easy, very fast trick. And of course, everything looks better now. And I've shown you how you can attach the trailers, how you can move the trailers, and how you can fire, let's say, parallel logic when the trailers are moved from the row. Okay, so I think this is for me about building, and maybe I'm waiting for we have 10 minutes left, so I wait for some questions from you, and I hope I'll be able to answer them. Of course, you will be able to see it later on the YouTube, I think in the next month, we will do one more webinar. And in this webinar, we'll have something to show you about the new features of FlexSim that we recently introduced, most likely about this GIS integration and how you can build, how you can model some supply chain networks using FlexSim, and how to chart the paths using the OpenStreetMap infrastructure. So you can use the automatic, let's say, build of a network instead of putting all the travel network nodes by hand, especially on the bigger maps. Okay, so do you have any questions? Let me just open the chat. Okay, so I don't see any questions. So I think maybe my explanation was good enough for you, or maybe you're just start thinking about building this AGV. So if you have more questions, if you have more ideas about what we should do next, because I think this AGV network was, I think, the most, let's say, vote ideas about what should be done next, write us an email or write some comment under the video on YouTube when we arrive there, and we'll try to cover the next topic to be more of your likes. Okay. There's one question from Marcin. Can we use the proximity agent to control the traffic with AGV? Okay, so you mean this proximity agent, yeah, system? Okay, so I think that this is doable. Okay, this is doable, but it will be a little bit more complicated. So you can create this as a proximity agent behavior when each, let's say, each AGV is an agent and has some proximity as, let's say, 5 meters. So let's say he will control what is, let's say, in the front of him in the next 5 meters. Yeah, so you can use it to control it, but you'll be able to use it only if you want to use AGV network. You'll be able to use it only to like make some emergency stops. Yeah, so you write some triggers about when there is some proximity. When you entering the proximity, you will most likely want to stop the AGV. Yeah, so you can be used, but I think the best use here to see, maybe model some collision avoidance. Think that a lot of AGVs use the proximity to find out, have collision. If this collision happens, if this collision happens, stop the AGV, for example, wait, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 seconds, check again what happened. Yeah, check again what happened. If there isn't any object in this proximity, continue with your movement. Yeah, so I think this can be used in the proximity. You can have one issue there with building model like this, because then if you run this proximity check behavior, yeah, and let's say you run this proximity check, the AGV will be here, yeah, you have some, let's say, run operator, and he will obscure the zone in this AGV here, yeah. The problem is that you can stop the AGV, but during the stop, it'll be very hard for you to change the task behavior, because he will still make the allocation for this control point, but he won't travel there. Yeah, so if you want to make the logic, of course, I have some obstruction, I can't go there. So maybe another AGV needs to go there. This could be hard. This is for proximity agent. If you also want to use the AGV, I think I see one potential issue there, because proximity radius is, let's say, is in the shape of sphere, or spherical shape. Yeah. So if you use the proximity shape, maybe how can I visualize this to you? If you use this proximity agent, so you have like the 5 meter you have like the shape here, yeah, and it's 5 meter like this, yeah. So it sees like everything around itself, yeah, in this 5 meter radius, yeah, because this is the proximity detection system. But in this case, I think if you want to use it in AGV, yeah, and the AGV is looking like, let's say, to maybe simplify it, is only looking in the, let's say, the area before it, yeah. So let's say this is how he sees the world, maybe in some triangle, maybe more more in triangle format. So then you have to write manually with the code, yeah. So how far he can see, yeah. And then you need to write some manual code that, okay, I can see only in this triangle, and this triangle is, I don't know, 3 meter high, and the base is 4 meters. And if I see something there, so if the location of an object is inside this triangle, then I see the detection. Yeah, because proximity system in FlexSim and proximity system is, I think, the best use here was one of ideas about using it was into create some simulation models about COVID. Yeah? So if I have production system and how often people go to the go too close to each other, so I can have some risk of contamination, yeah, of catching COVID, and this is, I think, the most used scenario for the proximity system. For AGV, my way of doing things would be I will program this triangle, yeah, because this is more, let's say, more realistic here, yeah, because not a lot of AGV sees what is behind them, and the operator can freely go just behind the AGV, and AGV won't see it. Yeah? It can be used. It needs to be a little bit tailored, and the question is always like the same: what is my goal here? Yeah? Do you want to model this collision, or do you want to maybe see what is the impact of possible collisions in my AGV, depending on the number of operators on the line? Yeah. Little long. Sorry for it. Okay, I hope it's okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. Thanks for this question. Any other questions there? Okay, so if there is no more questions, thank you for today, and I hope we'll meet again next month. With also with some other interesting subject for you to model. Okay, thank you everybody, and see you next month.